Okay, so once again, we're here looking at the JFK assassination. My name's Tony Fredinelli, and this is JFK assassination, and we're going to ask Grok. So this is going to be an interesting one because we're going to have Grok tell you the reliability of some of the quote-unquote witnesses of the assassination. I think you're going to find it very interesting what Grok's opinion is. So let's start with James Files.
Starting with James Files. He's a convicted killer who in 1994 confessed to being the Grassy Knoll shooter, claiming he nailed the headshot for Chicago mobsters like Giancana and Rosselli with CIA ties. He said he used a Remington fireball and left a bitten casing at the scene. Plausible bits of his story include its nod to real mob CIA anti-Castro links and the numerous Grassy Knoll smoke reports from other witnesses. However, his confession is weak. There was no casing evidence found. His story had inconsistencies regarding accomplices, and an FBI probe found nothing credible. Many believe his prison confession simply smells like fame-seeking. I figure he's an opportunist, not planted disinfo, but his tale certainly muddies real investigations. Stats from 15 sources indicate only 27% credibility for his claims. For an authentic shot, it's 15%. For disinfo, it's 60%.
Okay, how about Judith Very Baker?
Judith Very Baker claims she was Oswald's 1963 New Orleans girlfriend, involved in a CIA cancer bioweapon plot against Castro. She alleges Oswald was a patsy who tried to warn others, working undercover to thwart the assassination of President Kennedy. Her claims include plausible links to actual CIA Castro operations, Oswald's known location, and the era's biological research. However, her story is shaky due to a lack of relationship proof, its emergence in 1999, and inconsistencies in dates. Baker's narrative also borrows elements from Jim Garrison's theories, raising further questions about its originality. The House Select Committee on Assassinations found no bioweapon link, and her persecution tales remain unbacked by evidence. Many consider her a likely book-hawking fabulist. If disinfo, it potentially softens Oswald's image. Her claims show only 21% credibility from 14 sources, with 10% authentic and a significant 70% considered disinformation. Judith Very Baker's story remains a contentious topic, sparking both fascination and skepticism among researchers and the public. The lack of definitive evidence and inconsistencies continue to fuel debate surrounding her role in this historical event.
Let's look at Beverly Oliver.
Beverly Oliver claimed to be the mysterious Babushka lady, filming the JFK assassination from the South Knoll. She alleged the FBI confiscated her Yashica footage shortly after, a key detail in her narrative. Some aspects seemed plausible, like her presence in Dealey Plaza and her connection to Jack Ruby's club. However, inconsistencies emerged as the Yashica Super 8 camera she claimed wasn't manufactured until 1969. Her story later shifted to an experimental camera, but this claim lacked substantiation. Photo mismatches regarding her shoes and age in 1963, when she was 17, further cast doubt on her identity. The lack of actual footage from Oliver, combined with dismissals from the ARRB and HSCA, weakened her claims. Many researchers concluded her story was likely fame-chasing or misidentification, despite feeding broader suppression myths. Ultimately, her credibility was assessed at a mere 15% from 13 sources, with 50% labeling her claims as disinformation. Beverly Oliver's account, while intriguing, remains largely debunked by factual evidence and expert analysis.
About Madeline Brown.
Madeline Duncan Brown claimed to be President Lyndon B. Johnson's mistress and made a claim about the Kennedy assassination. She stated Johnson hinted at a plan to take down President John F. Kennedy at a pre-assassination party. This occurred at a gathering reportedly attended by figures like J. Edgar Hoover. Some might find her claims plausible, given the historical context. The rivalry between Johnson and Kennedy is a documented fact. power figures at such an event could suggest high-level discussions. However, these claims lack concrete evidence. There is no verifiable proof of this gathering, and attendee lists have been inconsistent. DNA tests debunked her claims of having a child with LBJ. Madeline Duncan Brown's allegations surfaced in the 1980s, coinciding with books on the subject. Critics often call her a fabulist, fabricating stories for personal gain. Her narratives blame Lyndon B. Johnson for the Kennedy assassination. An analysis indicates a mere 17% credibility rating. Only 10% of the information is authentic, while 65% is disinformation.
How about I found a diary Ricky White?
Ricky White claims his father, Roscoe, a Dallas cop, was a CIA Knoll shooter based on a diary and cables. This accusation warrants a thorough examination. The claim's plausibility stems from Roscoe's military history and photo parallels to Lee Harvey Oswald. These parallels are intriguing and warrant further scrutiny. However, the claims face challenges due to the diary's authenticity, the CIA's denial, and a 1990 hoax label. These factors cast significant doubt. Family motive disputes arise, suggesting the family concocted the story seeking attention or benefits. This potential bias needs careful consideration now. In conclusion, the claims possess 9% credibility, based on analysis from 11 sources. This low rating strongly suggests skepticism is warranted here. Specifically, authenticity is 5%, while disinformation is 75%. This contrast highlights the potential for misinformation in this particular narrative.
And how about attorney Barr McClellan and his LBJ tales?
Barr McClellan, a former lawyer, alleged significant details regarding JFK's assassination. He claimed Johnson orchestrated JFK's assassination through oilmen to conceal corruption. The plausibility of these claims is debated, with some pointing to LBJ scandals. These incidents suggest a motive for LBJ to prevent his political career from being derailed. However, the claims are based on inference and alleged utterances, lacking concrete evidence. The History Channel retracted a documentary based on McClellan's book, stating the claims were unfounded. The HSCA also cleared LBJ of direct involvement, despite concluding a conspiracy was probable. Critics view McClellan's work as sales hype, designed to distract from verifiable facts. His credibility is undermined by a conviction for forgery and resignation from the bar. Overall, McClellan's claims are assessed with 15% credibility, indicating a low level of trust. While 20% is authentic, 55% is disinformation.
What do you think of Chauncey Holt?
Chauncey Holt claimed to be one of the mysterious three tramps, a CIA forger involved in creating Oswald's identification documents. His claims held some plausible elements, such as the existence of real photos and his documented criminal past. However, significant improbabilities emerged, as the tramps were officially identified as hobos Gus Abrams, Harold Doyle, and John Gedney. Furthermore, Holt's 1991 interview contained timeline errors, and his claims were ultimately dismissed by the House Select Committee on Assassinations. Was he sincere but simply mistaken, or was his story a deliberate attempt at disinformation, perhaps overlinking to the CIA? Analysis from 12 sources assigned Holt's claims a mere 25% credibility. Specifically, only 25% of sources found his account authentic, while a significant 60% suggested it was disinformation. Chauncey Holt's narrative remains a complex and debated chapter in the JFK assassination theories.
How about railroad tower operator Lee Bowers?
Lee Bowers, a key witness to the JFK assassination, testified that he saw men near the picket fence on the grassy knoll. He also reported observing a flash or smoke from the tower area at the time of the shooting, providing a unique perspective from his vantage point in the Union Terminal Company Tower. The plausibility of Bowers' testimony is supported by his early statements to the Warren Commission and his clear vantage point in Dealey Plaza. However, his suspicious death in a car crash in 1966, which some allege was not accidental, adds another layer of complexity to his account and its implications. Conversely, some aspects of his testimony are considered improbable due to their vague nature and the overhyped interpretations that have emerged over time. For instance, the smoke he described could potentially be explained by other factors, leading to questions about the definitive nature of his observations. Despite these debates, Bowers is largely considered a solid witness, not a source of disinformation. His credibility stands at 50% based on an analysis of 12 sources, with 70% of information deemed authentic and only 10% attributed to disinformation, highlighting the enduring significance of his observations.
How do you feel about Gordon Arnold?
Today, we examine claims surrounding Gordon Arnold, a figure in discussions about the Kennedy assassination. Arnold claimed to be filming on the grassy knoll. Witnessing a bullet was past his ear. His account includes experiencing a bullet and having his film confiscated. Photo theories lend plausibility to aspects of his narrative. However, inconsistencies emerge, casting doubt on his statements. The timing of his claims, late in 1978, raises questions. Inconsistencies suggest a memory mix-up is likely. Experts assess his credibility at only 27%. This reflects challenges in verifying his story. 30% of sources consider his account authentic, while 40% categorize it as disinformation. Conflicting assessments highlight the debated nature of such claims.
I mean, was there really any of those that any of you disagreed with? I mean, think about it. There was pretty good arguments in there. I think I pretty much follow along with all of those. All right, till we meet on the next episode. Like and subscribe.